Hi again. I've moved location. I've vacated the front bedroom and gone down to the shed because I'm in the process of clearing out the front bedroom for guests from Ukraine in case they manage to get visas and arrive here for sanctuary. So I'm going to talk about this whole refugee issue again because once hubby and I started discussing the possibility of hosting refugees, it put me in a different space, a different frame of reference. I was looking forward to retiring and maybe writing a novel or two that would probably never get published, and perhaps moving house in search of some utopian country idyll, the usual privileged fantasies that one entertains just because one can. And I may yet write a bestseller. It's becoming more unlikely with every year that passes as my faculties begin to fade and the world of publishing becomes ever more insanely competitive. And as for the horticultural country dream, it's not realistic. I spent my early years in a little cottage with a huge garden, surrounded by nature, eating homegrown vegetables and fruit, and now I want to recreate it in my old age. It's just nostalgia. But the idea of opening up my home to a family of refugees, that's another level of fantasy altogether. And it could be realised. Thanks to our wonderful government. Give them their due, such as it is. There are already people posting on Facebook about their new guests and what they can do to make them feel welcome, and an insane number of posts from Ukrainians hoping to escape to the UK and find a new start. And it's obvious there's way too many of them. There's no way we can offer homes to them all. Millions of human beings whose lives and histories and sense of belonging and hope and possibility have been smashed. Even if they find their fresh start, there'll be emotional scars. It's not going to be easy at all in any way. But maybe one family can help one other family and make a difference on a personal level, while the national war and disinformation machine rages on all around us. So my fantasies have been diverted from self-centered creative projects towards a scenario where I'm a sort of rescuer. It's a wonderful fantasy that gives me a sense of purpose and usefulness. I've no idea whether it will make any difference. It has the potential for new human connections. I imagine trying to make my guests comfortable, giving them space and security and tranquility. And I imagine dividing up my fridge space and my cupboard space and having discussions about new shared rules for living under the same roof, and just sharing cultures and, generally being creative about new ways of living. And I try to imagine how someone who doesn't speak a word of English and who doesn't have any marketable skills would be able to make a new life in the most expensive country in Europe. I mean, why do immigrants want to come to the UK? It's inexplicable. And that's even before the locals start to complain about the immigrants taking their jobs and benefits, as they undoubtedly will. What about the housing crisis? People who grew up here and speak the language can't get homes. How will they react to this new stream of immigrants once the sense of emergency dies down and they're faced with the reality of even fewer homes to go around? I think a lot of people are moved to help Ukraine because they think the war will end and they hope there's a country going to be left that people can return to. But I'm not clear this is a realistic hope. Because once the seaports of Ukraine have been taken, they're going to lose their whole coast. And their whole economy is cut down. So we here, and I think all over the Western world, we're moving into a huge recession. We're going to have economic problems of our own. When it comes to having to defend our own rights to a living wage, are we going to have enough energy and compassion left for the stateless Ukrainians that we've brought in? So I'm now planning to spend my twilight years defending the rights of a couple of vulnerable teenagers from another country, and they're going to have a hard time, arguably a harder time than if they'd stayed in Ukraine. I don't know them, and already I want to fight their corner against the school bullies. I think we have to hang on to our humanity and our sense of compassion. We have to do these things if we believe in humanity at all. Thanks for listening. Bye.